You know when you watch something that seems magical, it seems effortless. Well, it's not. So today I want to delve into Chris Anderson's excellent talk on TED Talks to reveal the hidden secrets in his presentation, the ones he didn't tell us about. Let's get started. Welcome to Talking Talks, a behind-the-scenes look at how great presenters make great presentations. I'm your host, Bri Williams, and today I'm watching Chris Anderson's talk, TED's Secret to Great Public Speaking. At this point, it's been viewed over 2 million times, so clearly it resonates with people. But why? Is it what Chris says? Partly, but it's much more than that. I came across this clip when I was delving deeper into what great presenters do differently. As a public speaker and someone who trains people in the behavioural science of great presentations, I'm always seeking to learn and share from the best. And from Chris's talk, there are 4 things I want to focus on. 4 things he didn't explicitly share. Starting at the beginning. Let's look at how Chris begins his talk.
Some people think that there's a TED Talk formula. Give a talk on a round red rug, share a childhood story, divulge a personal secret, end with an inspiring call to action. No. Chris
launches straight into a provocative idea, overturning assumptions about what his talk might be about. Why? To grab our attention. To get us questioning these assumptions. It puts us back on our heels and throws us a little off balance. Then he dials up the tension about following a formula.
That's not how to think of a TED Talk.
By spelling out the ramifications of not questioning the assumptions we hold about TED Talks, he ups the stakes for us personally.
In fact, if you overuse those devices, you're just going to come across as cliched or emotionally manipulative.
We don't want to sound cliched or manipulative, so what should we do instead?
There is one thing that all great TED Talks have in common.
But before he has permission to tell us, he needs to do something else. Credential himself.
Because over the past 12 years, I've had a ringside seat listening to many hundreds of amazing TED speakers like these. I've helped them prepare their talks for prime time and learn directly from them their secrets of what makes for a great talk.
Chris talks about who he has helped and, importantly, who he has learnt from. Why is this important? He is demonstrating humility and offsets any sense of arrogance. Now, Chris is a guy at the top of his game, and yet he's not wielding that power over us. His obvious willingness to learn invites us to as well. He's not saying he has all the answers. He's simply offering one thing.
And even though these speakers and their topics all seem completely different, they actually do have one key common ingredient. And it's this.
This is so different to how many presenters credential themselves, reciting a long biography of endeavours and what they've done, without wondering why that's interesting to their audience. When you talk about credentials, it's really not about you. It's about you in service to your audience. Chris's phrasing of how he came to be sharing ideas with us is matched by something else too, visual design. You'll see Chris is seated. He's reflective, softly lit, leans towards us thoughtfully, looks down the camera. He's not talking to an audience, he's talking to you, all signalling that this is not a TED Talk. It's a fireside chat about TED Talks. And what I love most about his talk on talks, it's meta. Chris is not just telling us how to be a great public speaker, but showing us. He is walking his talk. Let's walk through the 4 guidelines that Chris shares with us. by reflecting how he demonstrates each of these 4 guidelines himself. As he says himself,
if you can reveal a disconnection in someone's worldview, they'll feel the need to bridge that knowledge gap.
So the first 2/3 of his presentation is about revealing the disconnection, so that only then can he provide the 4 guidelines.
1. Limit your talk to just one major idea.
Like he did, the idea of an idea.
Your number 1 task as a speaker is to transfer into your listeners' minds an extraordinary gift, a strange and beautiful object that we call an idea.
Guideline number 2.
Give your listeners a reason to care.
How did Chris do this? By overturning our assumptions about TED Talks.
If you overuse those devices, you're just going to come across as cliched or emotionally manipulative.
Guideline number 3.
Build your idea, piece by piece, out of concepts that your audience already understands. You use the power of language to weave together concepts that already exist in your listeners' minds.
Chris's talk is filled with examples and illustrations. For instance, he asks us to build an idea in the minds of our audience.
A strange and beautiful object that we call an idea.
Guideline number 4.
Here's the final tip. Make your idea worth sharing.
Well, clearly, with over 2 million views, Chris has delivered an idea worth sharing. Now, I could leave things there, but by this stage, I'm hoping you are wondering something about me and about how I am presenting right now. Am I being meta? Am I walking the talk and using the 4 principles that I shared with you? Well, let's see. I began by talking about how Chris began his presentation. So how did I begin? To reveal the hidden secrets in his presentation, the ones he didn't tell us about. I wanted to pique your curiosity about what more there was to know about presenting. I then talked about how Chris credentialed himself. So how did I do it? Well, the title reel helped set the stage of who I am, that I'm a presenter myself and am interested in how other people present. And my introduction, as a public speaker and someone who trains people in the behavioural science of great presentations, well, this signaled that this topic is in my wheelhouse, but coming from a place of curiosity. The third thing I talked about was Chris's visual design. Now, I'm in my office. There are diplomas behind me. I'm wearing relatively relaxed clothes rather than formal business attire. So what I'm hoping to signal is this is a professional yet accessible exchange of ideas. Again, I use the title reel to showcase that I'm someone who presents, but I'm also someone who's interested in what other presenters do. And I'm using clips of Chris and myself to support what I'm saying. And the 4th principle about Chris's presentation was that he walks his talk. So I hope I've just demonstrated that I'm walking my talk and that this has been an idea worth sharing. You can find out more about me and what I do at my website, briwilliams.com. And until we next meet, thank you for tuning in to Talking Talks, and I look forward to sharing more ideas with you soon.